Chapter 8, The Dissolution of the Assembly. At that time, the Buddha told foremost reverence Bodhisattva and the 14 Koti people in the assembly, "You have heard the Dharma door of observing causes and effects of sages and holies at the 42 levels. You should all activate the Sambodhi mind." 3 times he told all the Buddha sons, "You should accept and uphold this Dharma door and activate the Bodhi mind." Then 100,000 godsons in the multitude activated the mind at the first level of abiding and shed their status of ordinary beings. They cultivated endurance in subduing their afflictions and began to make illuminating observations at the 10 levels of abiding. Also, 10,000 male and female believers entered the Dharma door of the 10 levels of action. Also, 80,000 great Brahma kings acquired the ability to make illuminating observations on the first ground. Also, the 8 Ashura kings, with their 8 legions, changed their physical form, cultivated the 10 faithful minds, and began to do the 10 good karmas. Also, 80,000 bodhisattvas on the 10th ground manifested as Buddhas. The multitudes depart. Then multitudes from countless Buddha lands in the 10 directions, having heard the Buddha's pronouncement of the 6 entrance illumination door, the 10 levels of abiding, the 10 levels of action, the 10 levels of transference of merit, the 10 grounds, the stainless ground, and the perfect enlightenment ground. They activated the unsurpassed Bodhi mind and returned to their own worlds. Also, gods from the form realm and the formless realm, by their transcendental power, returned to their own heavens and taught other gods the Dharma door of a Bodhisattva's Garland. Also, gods from the 6 desire heavens returned to their own heavens and widely pronounced to other gods the immeasurable essential training. Then the multitude accepted and upheld this sutra. They read and recited it and understood its meanings. Then they returned to their own worlds to expound a bodhisattva's essential training, which follows a Buddha's original karmas. Then the Buddha told 8,000 holy bodhisattvas, the foremost disciples in Buddha lands in the 10 directions, who include Manjushri, Wisdom Ocean, Vajrastor, and Bodhi Flower. You should teach ignorant sentient beings in worlds in the 10 directions to accept and uphold this sutra. Read and recite it, and understand its meaning. For all sentient beings of the past, present, and future, you should open the path of wisdom and emptiness, which will lead them through the illumination door. Then 500,000 great bodhisattvas, waiting to demonstrate attainment of Buddhahood in their next life, rose from their seats and upheld the Buddha's words, which would not perish for kalpas. Also, 10,000 Brahma kings rose from their seats and upheld the Buddha's words. And innumerable goddess daughters rose from their seats and upheld the Buddha's words. Then bodhisattvas in this world and from countless worlds in other directions entered the illusion samadhi, and, using their transcendental powers with unbounded joy, jumped up into the open sky. Having heard, accepted, and upheld this sutra of the Garland of Merits, they resolved to attain Buddhahood through the doors of sages and holies. Then the Buddha displayed 1,000,000 transcendent powers, emitting immeasurable radiance and manifesting innumerable pure bodies. He again entrusted to the huge multitude this Garland Sutra from the ocean of the Vajrastor. He said, "All of you should accept and uphold this sutra. It reveals the training methods in the minds of innumerable hundreds of thousands of past Buddhas. You should accept and uphold it and make offerings to it." Then the multitude rose from their seats and emitted thousands of beams of light, illuminating this 3,000 large thousandfold world. With the highest esteem, they joyfully accepted and upheld this Sutra of the inconceivable garland of a Bodhisattva, and made offerings to it. They made obeisance to the Buddha and departed. When godsons from the 6 desire heavens and 10,000 human kings saw the dissolution of the Dharma assembly, they wept aloud, their cries of sorrow filling the 3,000 large thousandfold world. Then, still crying, they left the assembly. Also, 80 Koti great bodhisattvas upheld the Buddha's words with the 4 immeasurable minds, understanding that existence and non-existence are equal, and that in true reality all dharmas are asamskrita and have no appearance. They entered the samadhi of endless manifestations and departed joyfully. And 10,000 beginner sages entered the meditation that has 9 levels, the 4 dhyanas of the form realm, the 4 samadhis of the formless realm, and the samadhi of total suspension of sensory reception and perception. With the 7 purities: 1. Observance of precepts, 2. Mind in meditation, 3. The right views, 4. Resolution of doubts, 5. Differentiation between the right and wrong paths, 6. Knowledge of the right path, and 7. Knowledge to end the wrong ways. They entered into the Dharma. They made obeisance to the Buddha and departed. Important steps before expounding the essential training. Then 8,000 bodhisattvas rose from their seats. Vajraflower Bodhisattva asked the Buddha, "In future times, when we expound this sutra, turning the Dharma wheel to teach bodhisattvas, what should we do to enable the listeners to accept it and train accordingly?" The Buddha answered, "Buddha-san, your question is timely. Buddha-san, you should first impart the bodhisattva precepts to the listeners. Then expound the essential training of a bodhisattva through the 6th entrance illumination door. Buddha-san, first, have them take the 4 refuges: refuge in the Buddha, refuge in the Dharma, refuge in the Sangha, and refuge in the precepts, enabling them to acquire the 4 indestructible faiths. Next, impart to them the 10 major precepts: no killing, no stealing, no sex, no lying, no selling alcohol, no talking of the faults of a bodhisattva, monastic or lay, no stinginess, no anger, no praising oneself and criticizing others, and no maligning the 3 jewels. These 10 major precepts prohibit prajikas because if violated they cannot be restored by repentance. Buddha-san, you should then teach the precept recipients to make offerings to the Dharma Master. They should present such offerings as immeasurable celestial flowers and incense, 100,000 bright lamps, 100,000 celestial garments and necklaces, 100,000 kinds of instrumental music, food and drink, houses and scriptural texts, and whatever he needs. They should treat him the way they respect a Buddha, the way they serve their parents, teachers, monks, or the god king Sakra, the way Brahmins worship fire. 3 times every day they should make obeisance to the Dharma Master. They should be willing to lay down their lives for the sake of the Dharma. To such seekers of the Dharma, you can then expound a Bodhisattva's essential training called the Garland Dharma Door, which is taught by 1 billion Buddhas. Then the multitude of 14 Koti people lamented, "In future times there will be no Dharma, no 3 jewels, and no sages, because evil times arise from evils. It will be immeasurably hard to find Dharma expounders and Dharma listeners." They rose from their seats and wept in sorrow. Their cries moved the earth and agitated the ocean, and the 3,000 large thousandfold world overturned. The sun, the moon, and the 28 constellations disappeared. Then the multitude respectfully withdrew the display of their spiritual powers. Then they made obeisance to the Buddha and departed. Afterward, they continued to accept and uphold this sutra, read and recite it, and explain its meanings, which lasted endlessly, and they joyfully carried out its teachings.